So recently, Cyberpunk 2077 has finally been released. This is probably the most anticipated game of like the past decade and easily the most anticipated game of this year, and it shows. This thing broke PC selling records. I think it sold like what 8 million copies or something, or 8 million pre-orders. It was a massive hit. The launch was crazy. I think it had like a million something active players in Steam the first day, which I think is the most for any single player game out there. I think PC wise, so it made records mostly in the PC. Well, yeah, it made tons of money, loads of money actually. Well, it was a massive launch. Yeah. The problems came, and well, you guys probably know by now because it's really all over in the gaming news, or just even if you don't follow gaming, you probably know about the whole scandal. CD Projekt Red giving full refunds for anybody who's dissatisfied with their product. I mean, this thing was trending on Twitter, calling it like Cyberjunk 2077 or Cyberbug 2077. But yeah, you guys probably know. For the launch, there was tons of bugs. It was almost unplayable for last gen console. I can't believe I'm saying last gen console. Like PS4 and Xbox One, it still feels so recent, and I can't believe that the new gen consoles or the current gen consoles, or now the PS5 and Xbox Series X. It's incredibly fast how time goes. But anyway, yeah, the PS4 and Xbox One version has been a colossal mess. Lots of players are mad. They are furious. They have been talking about, that there's so many bugs with the game. It's almost unplayable. The graphics, a lot of texture models take a long time to load, and it looks like if you're playing something out of PS2. You could definitely tell that CD Projekt Red, saw how much they messed up, and they're releasing as many updates as they can. And I gotta say this, even though, I do fault them. I mean, they literally the leaders in CD Projekt Red are the ones at fault. The developers are like against the leaders in this whole scandal. It's an entire mess, really. It's an entire mess. It's an internal problem, an external problem at this point, which is unfortunate. Really, it's unfortunate. This is the most anticipated game. I will say there was a lot of pressure with CD Projekt Red, but I still think with 8 years in development and around 3 delays, this kind of unacceptable that it's this much of a colossal disaster. Like, I would understand a few minor bugs, but bugs that would stop the entire experience and that it would overwhelm players. Yeah, that thing just sucks. That thing is just very, very, very messy and very unfortunate for the people who spend $60 for this game. So anyway, enough of that chit chatter. I had to talk about the scandal because it's like the biggest thing that's been going on right now in the gaming community. I wanted to review this game. This is a Cyberpunk 2077 review. I don't want to spend most of the time here talking about the scandal. So this coming from my perspective, everything you're about to hear is based on my opinion, and I think I am more than qualified to review this game because I put around 46 or 48 hours in the game. Yeah, it's a lot of time. So the first thing I just want to mention right off the bat is that the game is really, really good. It's great when it runs, when it works. I mean, it's really impossible to not mention the amount of bugs or glitches or crashes this game has. I mean, I was playing this game on a PS5. Luckily, I could get a hold on a PS5, luckily, and it runs well. It runs fine. I think it runs maybe around 60 frames per second because I heard that PS4 games now get like a 60 frames per second. It was something called Game Boost. It was something like that. The frames are pretty steady. I didn't have any problems with the frames. The graphics, remember, just running in a PS5, they were great. They were actually very good to look at. They weren't necessarily like revolutionary graphics, but they were decent, I would say. There was a little bit of pop-ups here and there, but I didn't necessarily mind it that much. The bugs were there, but they weren't as present as, for example, PC or a PS4 and the Xbox One, which had a lot of bugs. There has been some bugs that I will say they were hilarious bugs, and there was also this one bug that I guess I was a little bit annoyed that there was just like little side quests that I wanted to continue, and then it said, oh yeah, wait a day until you get a message, or just wait until this person sends you a message. I was like, okay, fine. So I skipped time in game and nothing really changed. For some reason, people have been getting a lot of this error. They can't progress in these quests, and it's been happening to multiple quests as well, which is quite unfortunate because the quest that I was pursuing was very interesting, and unfortunately I have to wait for either a bug fix, which by the way, a new update was added today and it didn't solve the problem. The quote-unquote fix for these bugs, if you encounter any bugs while you're playing Cyberpunk, is to reload the save file. I literally learned this when I was playing the final mission for the second ending that I was aiming to get in this game. So just for anybody there that just encounters some weird AI glitches, just reload your save. And also a quick tip for everybody out there that owns Cyberpunk or just wants to get Cyberpunk, save your game a lot. I know that it has auto save and stuff, but some occasions you just want a quick save your game. So yeah, the crashes in this game are unfortunately very consistent. I was kind of disappointed. I've been getting almost like 3 crashes per day every time I open up this game and play this game. It's been like around 2 hours and 3 hours of gameplay, and then boom, a crash. This has been happening very constantly, and it's very annoying. Like, I think I've gotten a total of like 20 crashes maybe, and it's just very, very, very annoying. Thankfully, it didn't script that much of my progress. The crashes were also very, very annoying. I mean, it's just laughable at this point, because in the credit scenes when I finish the game, literally like halfway through, the game just crashes, and when I aim for the second ending for this game, the game crashed as well in the credit scene. So I don't know if it's like an issue with the credit scenes, or it's just that I'm just playing long enough that it just crashes automatically, which in my eyes, that's very unfortunate, and they had to fix that ASAP. I mean, really, these updates that they have been launching, I guess maybe help something for some people. Maybe it actually did help progress the story further, or just some side jobs. But yeah, for me at least, it hasn't been affecting almost anything. Let's talk about what makes this game a great game. I like how the life paths that you choose in this game have a difference and actually an impact in this entire story. You know, when it comes to dialogue options, you can choose, for example, if you chose Street Kid, a Street Kid option would pop up. If you chose Nomad, a Nomad option would pop up. And if you chose Corpo, like I did, and a lot of people chose, then a Corpo option would pop up, and it would actually affect. Sometimes you can get a better path, actually, thanks to these life paths. The side quests in this game really feel a lot like it should be part of the main story, mostly with characters that you meet early on in the story, or just later as you progress with the story. You know, the more characters pop up, and the more side quests are going to be offered by them. And my advice is to complete the side quests. They are worth every single minute of your time. I love the characters that they present there. They're characters that definitely have an impact in the future when you're playing the game. And even if they don't have a huge impact in the game, they're so fun characters to be around. They're so great written characters. I really love these characters. I'm not going to spoil every character there is. There's probably like 6 or 5 that can affect your main storyline. Even after those characters, just like some little side gigs that I highly recommend you to do. Night City is a pretty big place. You can easily get lost in it. It's not as big as GTA, but it's one hell of a big city. There are fixers nearby, which these are people who can give you like little gigs, little side quests that you can complete for eddies, which are money in the game. So definitely a tip that I recommend you guys is that don't focus that much in the main story, and mostly focus on the side quests, because really the side quests really is the big magnum opus of this entire game. They really put a lot of effort into these side quests. Don't get me wrong, the main story is enjoyable, but the main story I felt was very short. The main story is around 20 hours apparently, from what I've been hearing, if you just aim for the main story and don't do that much side quests, which really my recommendation is to do a bit more side quests. I mean, there is so much that this game has to offer. I like how one quest line leads to another quest line from another character, which is a very cool thing, you know, to add in this game. As the act progresses, more characters get introduced in here. Very well written characters. You get to see more characters that are related to Johnny Silverhand, which is played by Keanu Reeves. And let me tell you this, Johnny Silverhand is one hell of a character. I love Keanu's part in this game. I heard that Keanu recorded his lines, I think like in 15 days or in 1 month, which is actually a very short period of time compared to a lot of these voice actors. And mostly because Johnny Silverhand is the main protagonist, well, the second main protagonist of the game. And I know you guys are going to talking about like, hey, how does Johnny Silverhand play, you know, a part in this game? I'd rather not tell you, because then it'll be a spoiler. It all happens in the prologue, or no, in Act 1. And I don't want to spoil it, because then you'll be spoiled this thing and this thing happened. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I think you'd rather play the game or see a video itself. I want to make this as spoiler free as possible. And yeah, Johnny Silverhand has a great role in this game. I think he's a very charismatic, narcissistic character. It reminded me a little bit of that villain from Far Cry 3, but Johnny Silverhand isn't necessarily a villain. And yeah, it's funny that he lives in your head. I won't mention how that happens, because that will be a spoiler mostly for Act 1, and I want you guys to experience it yourselves. I thought that it would be an odd role for Keanu Reeves to play this narcissistic terrorist. You know, he's mostly known for these chill, calm roles, you know, mostly in John Wick. And I like how he's doing something out of his comfort zone. It definitely sounds weird once you first encounter Silverhand through the story, but his character really grew on me, and I just love the performance of Keanu Reeves. One problem that I have, I think, with the story, even though that I really love a lot of the content of the story, like the big majority of the story. One issue that I have is that I feel that the prologue, how it ended and how it transitioned to Act 1 was a little bit rough, and it doesn't really explain what happened between that time. It just skips there. I also wish that some characters that were present in the main story had at least like a little side quest line or had more screen time. I think that some of these main characters, these main parts of the story don't really have that much screen time, which is quite unfortunate. I wish that they had I don't know, a side quest line, maybe a short side quest line, could just spend more time with the character. I feel that some characters just pop up in there and then just disappear, and then we never get to see them, or we do get to see them, but it'll most likely be like around the final act once you get to meet them again, which I felt, I don't know, it's a bit weird. I felt like maybe if you had like a little side quest line. Gameplay in this game, I will say, the first time when I was playing it, it was very weird. I wasn't a huge fan of, the melee or the shooting. It felt very, very odd. But just the more time you spend in this game, the more used to you will get with the weapons. It isn't necessarily that hard to master. I also really like the little hacking element that they put in this game. You can sneak your way through enemies using a hacking ability, or maybe you can just go all out and just want to, I don't know, hack one enemy there just so you can like distract the other. I don't know. It depends how you want to go there, but the hacking in this game is actually pretty fun. It's pretty cool, actually. I really like how they put the hacking. And yeah, the driving in this game, it's very weird. It's very, very odd. Some cars just have one of the worst handling I've ever seen in video game car driving history, really. I wasn't expecting car controls from a Need for Speed or from a Forza game, but at least a tolerable one. There's just some cars in here that are very expensive cars. They just have one of the worst handling ever. Also, quick tip, if you're going to drive around the night city, use third person. First person is just very, very bad if you're driving on these very sport cars, because everything is blocking your way. You can barely see what's going on. If you want to use first person, maybe drive, I think, smaller cars or just bikes, I guess, so you can see more your area. Just these sports cars are just very messy and very all over your face, so I just recommend you driving throughout Night City in third person, really. And yes, talking about mechanics, let's talk about the AI in this game. Now, you guys probably seen like videos making fun or memes about the AI, and I gotta say, I mean, it's well deserved. There's so many weird AI things going on around this game. The police system in this game is just laughable. I mean, really, it's really unrealistic how they use it. I mean, I feel that CD Projekt Red was very lazy handling the police system. Literally, if you kill a civilian or maybe shoot up a rival gang in the street or something, and the police come and see that, and you kill like one police officer or the police units that you see around there, literally like, I don't know, 3 or 5 more will spawn out of nowhere and then just kick your ass. Like, really, it's very weird how they just respawn out of nowhere. It's not like they give you time and then like you see police cars pulling up. It's like they literally just respawn out of nowhere. Also, to escape the police, it's very easy. It's just laughably easy how you can manipulate the AI in this game. It's very laughable. Like, you can like have like, I don't know, the highest amount of wanted levels in this game. Just get into a car, just drive out, and like in 10 or 20 seconds, the wanted badges will be gone and you'll be back to normal. It's that easy how you can escape the police AI in the system, which is kind of unfortunate. I didn't expect to say like super realistic, police system, but hello, Watch Dogs 2, a game that had, enough bugs and glitches, has a better police system than this. I also really love that this game has the character customization thing. I know that in The Witcher 3, you were entitled to play as Geralt of Rivia, and I know you can like customize your character there, but it wasn't really like your own character. It was really just Geralt of Rivia, a character that was already made for you. I like how in this game, even though that everybody's gonna play as V, they're gonna, have the voice and stuff like that, at least you can make your own character. It can be like a brand new, like the face and everything. Everybody's gonna have a different model. It's not gonna be entitled to one person. You can only change like their clothes or their facial. You can change everything. Also, the music in this game. You guys know I have to talk about music. I am a music fan. The music in this game just fits perfectly with the scenario. There's so much of the eerie music piece that plays around the entire game. Sometimes when you're driving around Night City, it's like very cool synthwave, very chill track pops up out of nowhere. It just matches perfectly when you're driving around. I think it's very nice, very quiet. I remember the first time I booted this game up and I was making my character. It was creepy. It was so creepy because the music got louder, and louder. I don't know why. For me at least, I felt that it was very creepy of how loud the music got. Just very disturbing and very eerie for me when I was making my character. I don't know why. And I think it matches perfectly this game because this game is very weird, very eerie with a lot of the scenery. It's very disturbing and very dark. But I gotta say, I love the setting. I don't think this game is bad at all. I actually really like this game. A lot of people are expecting like revolutionary type of things, which to be honest, I didn't expect this thing to be revolutionary. I just expected it to be a very different approach of how CD Projekt Red does their single player type of writing games, which really this is a different approach. Is it better than Witcher? Most likely not. I think maybe Witcher had the better characters, obviously better written story, the better open world. Maybe it depends on what type of player you are. I recommend you to buy this game only if you're playing this on next gen consoles or a PC that's like around the high end range, or that can just run games, you know, at an optimal frame rate and optimal resolution, and that's your bingo. I can't recommend this to PS4 and Xbox One because I've been hearing so many reports of people just having a lot of disappointment with these versions, you know, really just hate playing it in their PS4s and Xbox Ones because the texture models won't load. And I really hope that the people who are, you know, playing this game or have this game can enjoy it well in the PS4 and the Xbox One. Hopefully they can enjoy this game at its max capacity, really, because this game is fantastic. It is great. I highly recommend you buying it. But yeah, we have to wait until CD Projekt Red can smooth these issues out. So anyway, what do I give Cyberpunk 2077, the highly anticipated game? I will give this an 8 out of 10. I had a solid experience playing this game. I really loved my time playing this game, despite its issues with its bugs and stuff, and despite some minor story issues that I had. This game is fantastic. This game is great. I highly recommend you, mostly for open world RPG fans and fans from The Witcher. I think they'll have a blast playing this game if you can get this game to run well. But yeah, anyway, what do you guys think about Cyberpunk 2077? Let me know in the comments down below. Consider turning on the notification bell on so you never miss an upload from me. And yeah, peace out, everybody.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?